Tuesday night in the Champions League, so he's probably concentrating on that. But if a camera happened to pick him out,
he'll be here somewhere, John. He'll be here somewhere. He'll be behind the glass somewhere. Somebody will spot him.
So this is Manchester United's first Premier League match since the sacking of Erik ten Hag, and it will kick off with United in 13th place in the table, and Chelsea lining up now, having been knocked out of the cup in midweek, but just 1 point behind Arsenal in the league. There is lots to play for. The referee is Robert Jones. Manchester United team is Onana, Dalot, De Ligt, Martinez and Mazraoui. Ugarte in for Eriksen and Casemiro. Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho and Højlund. There's the whistle. There's the roar. That's a proper roar from Old Trafford on kick-off here for this Premier League match, as Manchester United in the red shirts, white shorts and black socks go all the way back to the edge of that penalty area and then fire it forward. And then there's a foul by Levi Colwill, and it's a free kick to Manchester United halfway inside the Chelsea half. That entrance, that Van Nistelrooy entrance, that sort of superstar showbiz entrance has I think, part of the reason why we've got this.
The fans seem to be up for this, John. They like that. The fans are up for this. They've seen the way that Ruud reacted. Great start as well. Højlund backing in, holding up the ball, got his team a free kick in a dangerous position.
Delighted to say listeners to the BBC World Service are with us here on 5 Live at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. Bruno Fernandes with this early free kick out towards this right-hand side. Takes it in now, right-footed, headed away on the edge of the box. Comes out to Mazraoui, who sort of leapt at it. And it's cleared away by Chelsea. Bruno Fernandes has got to deal with this under pressure from Jackson, but he does. And United have got possession back. And the Chelsea team here, same as against Newcastle in the Premier League last weekend. Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Fofana, Colwill and Captain James at left back. In midfield, Caicedo and Lavia. As Manchester United with Rashford couldn't find a way past Lavia on the edge of the penalty area. Excellent challenge actually from the Chelsea midfield. A great footwork from Mazraoui. Fernandes then out to Højlund, who's over there on the left hand side. Højlund trying to find a position, but Chelsea are back in numbers, and actually Manchester United go all the way back towards the halfway line. So yes, Caicedo and Lavia, the two in midfield again. So Enzo Fernandez continues on the bench for the league matches. Madueke, Palmer and Neto and Nicholas Jackson up front. Cole Palmer, who scored 4 goals in the 2 matches against Manchester United last season, including the 2 very late goals at Stamford Bridge in April when Chelsea turned it around and won 4-3. Cole Palmer, the former Manchester City man, as Manchester United hit it long up towards the halfway line. Højlund is very tightly watched there over on the right hand side by Gusto. And in the end, Sanchez clears towards the halfway line. It's dry. There's a little bit of a chill in the November air as Manchester United's crossfield pass. I thought that had hit the referee, Rob Jones, but obviously it didn't. It was played from left to right. And I think that's certainly what Garnacho thought. Garnacho, by the way, started on the right-hand side and Rashford on the left, but I think they will interchange as Dalot at right back returns the ball to goalkeeper Onana. His clearance headed forward by James, the Chelsea captain. Then Neto infield. Lavia is quick onto that, wins it against Bruno Fernandes. Chelsea now playing it out towards the right-hand side. And then Madueke plays it forward. Gusto with a cross right across the 6-yard box. 2 Manchester United defenders there let it go, and Onana was able to take it into his midriff and then quickly out Manchester United to the halfway line, but then check back, and Bruno Fernandes in possession. Bruno Fernandes though tries to pick out that pass for the run of Højlund, but Sanchez is able to gather it on the edge of his penalty area. So Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. 5 Live in the World Service from the BBC. Listen as well to the live radio via BBC Sounds. And Dion Dublin, England international, former Manchester United man, former Villa man, former England man, sitting alongside me here. Vibrant start in terms of the noise that's coming down from the stands.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's vibrant on the pitch as well. We've only had a few minutes. Both sides are playing some really good stuff. It's a nice tempo as well. And both sides wanting to squeeze high as well. I mean, Man United have gone into a low block into the centre of the pitch at the moment, waiting to see what Chelsea have got. But intentions seem good from both sides.
Chelsea with the ball on the edge of their own penalty area. This positive start that they've made under their new manager, Enzo Maresca. But they lost their last Premier League away match. You might have heard it with us at Anfield against Liverpool. Their only other league defeat was against Manchester City. So City and Liverpool, the only two teams to have beaten them in the league so far this season. Manchester United winning possession back. And these first minutes of this match, so interesting to see what the Manchester United approach will be against opposition of this calibre. And it's played forward from centre field by Ugarte. Now Bruno Fernandes shields it from Lavia. Back to Mazraoui, who steps into the midfield and comes across from left to right. Then Ugarte forward. Bruno Fernandes just got a touch on that, but Gusto was able to slide in. Manchester United continue to have possession inside the Chelsea half. Rashford infield to the fair-haired Dane, Højlund, then back towards the halfway line, and Manchester United keep possession with Dalot. This is what the home supporters want to see. Their team having possession inside the opposition half. Played forward, but there's a slip over there on the left-hand side by Mazraoui, and that means Chelsea are back in possession, and it's played away very nicely there by Gusto from near his own dead ball line to Lavia, who is in space, and Lavia finds Cole Palmer. Palmer forward and left of the centre circle, rolls it into the path of Neto. Neto comes in field, he's got Palmer available, he skips past one challenge from Casemiro, then the cross left-footed from Palmer is beyond everyone. He has mocked the former Manchester City man by the Manchester United fans, because the cross ends up going out for a throw-in on the far side.
Yeah, it's what Cole Palmer does, though. He just nudged the ball onto Neto down the left-hand side, and he went round Neto, a big, massive overlap. He said to Neto, just roll it in and now try and stick it in the box. It's a great ball, and nobody really committing in a blue shirt. But about 15 seconds before that, Gusto gets out of a position. His teammate Lavia is in the middle of the park. No Man United player close to him. You can't do that. If you've got a team pinned in, squeeze them in there, come in behind your centre forward, don't let them out.
And that's another aspect of this game that makes it fascinating, because Manchester United looking to play on the front foot, and if they do, it may well be that Chelsea will have the kind of space that Palmer had there as they came forward. Højlund is strongly challenged by Colwill right on the halfway line, almost on the centre spot itself. That's a foul, free kick.
Done well, Højlund, so far. Every time the ball's come into him, he's got himself in between the player and the ball, making sure that defender just doesn't have an easy ride. If you want the ball, you're going to have to go through me. They have done twice, and he's got 2 free kicks.
Already today, a stunning win really for Tottenham against Aston Villa by 4-1. It was 1-0 to Aston Villa at half-time, and Tottenham were looking at the possibility of a 5th Premier League defeat of the season, as Ugarte rather carelessly passes that out of play. It's a throw into Chelsea. We've already heard live from Ange Postecoglou. We'll hear from Unai Emery later. I heard Mark Scott earlier say it's his 53rd birthday today. Happy birthday, Unai. Losing 4-1. Match is still underway. It is now Dundee 2, Kilmarnock 2 in the 3 o'clock kickoff in the Premiership. And last I looked, Hibernian were winning 1-0 against Dundee United. The bottom of the table, Hibernian continue to lead 1-0 against Dundee United. Both 3 o'clock kickoffs, and a very interesting Scottish League Cup semi-final unfolding. Motherwell now 2-1 up on Rangers. It was 2-0 Motherwell, so we'll be back to Hampden in due course. But Chelsea, long pass forward. This is for Neto to chase, but Dalot always the favourite to get there as he ran back towards the Stretford end. Lights shining brightly down here at Old Trafford. Clipped forward towards the halfway line, but that header was won by Reece James, and then it's won back centrally by Caicedo through to Palmer inside the penalty area. Palmer does get the shot in, but it's blocked by a sliding De Ligt, who went to ground and in the process was able to get his body or his knees in the way of the shot and deflect it wide, 6 yards wide for a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, Casemiro, blind pass there from the right-hand side in the right back position, blind pass, trying to find Ugarte. Caicedo's sharp to it, puts Cole Palmer in, but I think De Ligt does really well, stays on his feet, doesn't commit, knows he wants to go on his left foot, and it's a good block.
The worry was for Manchester United, that was last-ditch defending. It's a corner, and it comes underneath the crossbar, and Onana went for it. I thought he'd got a touch on that.
I think he was just making sure. He was making sure.
It was already over, was it?
Yeah.
Took well to get his hand to that then. In fact, I think it did land only on the roof of the net, so the wasted corner from the left-hand side. Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. Motherwell 1, Rangers 1. Well, I could have sworn I heard it was 2-0 to Motherwell. Well, one presumes that goal was ruled out. So it's Motherwell 1, Rangers 1. That's the peril of VAR, isn't it? So 0-0, definitely 0-0 here.
Are we sure?
I think I'm right. As the ball's played for Garnacho to chase down the right-hand side. And then nice little ball from Højlund to Garnacho. Garnacho returns it infield, but straight into the path of Caicedo, and then Casemiro slides in on Lavia. Cheers for that from the home supporters. I think Bruno Fernandes did foul Caicedo. They want to take a quick free kick. Chelsea, they do. They're able to do that. Caicedo, little pass to the right to Gusto. United had to be on their toes there, but they were, and they were also helped by a poor pass actually from Gusto. Chelsea had an opportunity there. There were players available, there was space, but not able to take advantage. Casemiro lifts a pass on the halfway line. Still 0-0. Bruno Fernandes' ball. This is for Rashford to sprint after down into the full-back position. Comes off Gusto, the Chelsea right-back, out of play. Off Rashford in the end. Cheers from the Chelsea fans to our right. And it's a throw-in for the visitors.
Yeah, it was an interesting look down here just in front of us. Garnacho going down the right-hand side, and he wanted to just put the ball in early. He was looking for Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford had changed flanks just for that 5 seconds, and he was on the outside of Garnacho, so nobody in the box, and they ended up giving the ball away. But you've got to stay in your pockets, in your space.
Long, lengthy wait for Chelsea to take that throw in. The Manchester United fans in the lower tier of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand were onto him, took the throw. Manchester United won back possession. Sir Alex Ferguson is here. I saw him being greeted by Sir Jim Ratcliffe in his maroon pullover. It's a sort of zip neck, high collar pullover. I presume he won't be pictured today with his head in his hands, but you never know. There's been rather a lot of that, hasn't there? And thus far, no TV camera has picked out a smoked glass window with the possibility of Ruben Amorim behind it. So I think we'll possibly take it that he's following this from somewhere in Lisbon. Manchester City going there on Tuesday. That makes that a very interesting match. Sporting against Manchester City, we'll have that covered for you. The commentary will be another very interesting match, which is Liverpool against Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen. So that is Tuesday night, but all of the midweek matches will be covered for you, and we will have commentary from Milan on Wednesday, the Italian champions Inter against Arsenal, who've obviously hit a little bit of a bump in the road as the ball is played back to Sanchez, the Chelsea goalkeeper, clearing it right-footed. Martinez back in central defence, manages to work a position, heads it forward, and then it comes back to the edge of the area. You know, when you watch this team today with Erik ten Hag gone, so many players around who are inextricably linked with the former manager. Chelsea though coming forward. Gusto, there's space here for him. Gusto plays it to the right hand side. Here's Madueke running at Mazraoui, then Gusto on the overlap, slipped it through to him, and Martinez was able to come across and block it behind for another Chelsea corner. Yeah, Man United getting back in numbers. Got to be really careful though. When Bruno Fernandes goes forward, he goes beyond his forwards, Højlund and Garnacho, and they're not dropping into the space where he was. And there was a couple of Chelsea players there on the edge of the box. You've got to help your teammates out and get back. 12 minutes on the clock. 13 now. Corner for Chelsea. From over there on the far side, that far corner, left-footed, taken in by Palmer. Near post glance, and it was blocked behind and wide. And it is a goal kick that's been given. And it hit the post. It did hit the post. The initial header struck the upright from Fofana. Yeah. Great corner as well. Yeah, super corner from Palmer. Great corner, in-swinging corner, really low trajectory, and he just goes to the near. Fofana's only, it's about 3 yards. It might not have been Fofana, it might have been Madueke actually. There were two of them going for it together actually. Both on the near post. Yeah, they got in one another's way, and it was Madueke. Madueke in front of Fofana, who got the header against the post. Absolutely, 3 yards out, really should be scored. I don't think it would have been allowed, to be honest with you, because he gives Casemiro a good push over on the back there. So I think that would have gone to VAR if it had gone in. But and actually, I think had Fofana not collided into the back of Madueke, I think he would have headed it in.
Absolutely. Early shout sorts it out. How many times have I got to tell them?
So it is still 0-0, but Chelsea hit the post through that header from Madueke. Colwill is down, and I think the suggestion that he was shoved in the back by Martinez. In fact, it's more of a suggestion he was actually shoved in the back.
Yeah.
So VAR probably having a look at that as well, Dion.
A lot of pushing it. Listen, is it still a contact sport? I think it is a contact sport, isn't it? I forget now.
Depends where and how. And where the ball is. And it wasn't anywhere near Martinez and Colwill when he shoved him over in the penalty area. Anyway, no further action taking. Remains Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. We are going to go to Hampden when we get another chance, but Chelsea are off and running. Ball back with gusto, and then it comes back to Lavia just forward of the centre circle. And now here is Colwill, having just taken a little while to recover from that. In actual fact, I'm not sure whether he was hurt. I think, Dion, that was I'm going to make sure the referee knows that there was contact on me from a Manchester United man in the box. United win the ball back inside their own half. Rashford down the left wing. Here he goes, still going. Gusto trying to catch him, and then across comes the covering challenge to block it out of play from Fofana, and Marcus Rashford carrying the ball downfield and winning a corner.
Yeah, but positive with it. Picks the ball up in his own half and decides to run. He hasn't really got a clean pass on. Hoyland's not made it up the pitch with him yet. Has to stay in the middle of the park. Marcus commits, gets into a good area where he can cross. He's got his doubled up as well. Gets a corner for his side. It's much better.
Bruno Fernandes to take this then. In front of the East stand, Bruno Fernandes finally got off the mark in the League Cup on Wednesday night, still waiting for his first Premier League goal. Takes this corner, comes off a Chelsea head at the near post. Lavia turns it right across the penalty area, and then Palmer and Madueke between them left it for one another. Manchester United got it back. Now Madueke is able to very nicely play it forward to Palmer, and then Palmer infield towards Caicedo. Chelsea breaking from the edge of their own penalty area. Caicedo's pass looking for Jackson. Mazraoui just gets there first. And there is news from Hampden, from Ailey Barber.
And Rangers have completed the comeback. 1 goal down, they now lead by 2 goals to 1. Nedim Bayrami with the second. A big deflection to take it past Aston Oxford in the Motherwell goal. But it looks like the holders Rangers might well be heading to another League Cup final. We've got 9 minutes to go at Hampden, and it's Motherwell 1, Rangers 2.
So Rangers definitively are in front at Hampden. Here's Neto, 0-0 here at Old Trafford. Neto twisting, turning, defenders with him, and just touches it back to Madueke, who has to take it back towards the halfway line. In the FA Cup, what is the latest in the Boreham Wood Leyton Orient tie, which has gone to extra time? Chris Coles?
And even further to a penalty shootout, John, and it is 1-1 after 3 penalties. Leyton Orient, Boreham Wood missing their first 2 penalties, scoring their third. Orient, a couple of good penalties in there as well, and after 3 penalties each, it's 2-2.
So more very soon from Chris on the outcome there. And Chelsea in possession with the ball 10 yards inside their own half. Just noticed there, one of the latecomers in the director's box, I think, is the very, very famous actor Barry what's his name, Dion? Keown, is it?
It wasn't Martin, was it?
No, it's not that. It's not that
It
one.
wasn't Martin, was it?
I'm trying to remember what his surname is. It's got a lot of G's and H's. Yeah, he's excellent though. Ball coming through the middle. Jackson plays it towards Palmer. Palmer into the box, gives it to Neto on the left-hand side. Neto across the penalty area, the corner of the box, right-footed ball in. That's headed away by Martinez. Gusto trying to win it in the box, twisting and turning, and in the end, it's the Chelsea right-back who, off balance, stabs it away behind for a goal kick to Manchester United. Still 0-0.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to be one down the left-hand side or the right-hand side of either side, because the matchups are great. I mean, Neto and Dalot down this left-hand side are having a right battle there. Dallow's thinking, do I not go? Do I leave space in behind? Same on the other side with Madueke and...
No, Manchester United. Casemiro very nearly lost out to Caicedo. Well, Caicedo slid in on Casemiro near the penalty spot, and the final touch was off the Chelsea man up and over the top of the bar.
Yeah, just force. I mean, the press is set here. Chelsea have set the press. Sometimes you've got to miss that out. They're forcing it, United.
it is all over. The penalty shootout is over at Boreham Wood. Chris Coles.
Leyton Orient of League One have survived the scare. They've beaten Boreham Wood on penalties, 3 penalties to 1. Junior Dixon firing over for Boreham Wood, Galbraith winning it for Leyton Orient, and they're through to the second round. They've beaten Boreham Wood 3-1 on penalties.
And Dundee United have equalised against Hibernian as Bruno Fernandes plays the ball into the middle, but Sanchez comes diving forward, Superman style, fists flying, and gets a punch on the ball to clear it out of the penalty area. But a teasing ball from Bruno Fernandes. The Dundee United equaliser coming from a Sam Dolby penalty, and Hibs are down to 10 men. Actually, Mikola Kuharevich has been sent off. And on the subject of pronunciations, it is Keown. It is Barry Keown who's sitting in the director's box. I thought that was right. Steve's looking at me as though I've got that pronunciation all wrong. I think it is debatable. I don't have a video with actors pronouncing their own names. We're also the choice of listening right now. The Formula One, the Grand Prix is over on Sports Extra. Harry Benjamin has the latest.
We're currently under red flag conditions, heavy rain, black skies overhead, and Franco Colapinto in the Williams crashing out. He's okay, but that brought out the red flag, and well, that gives most of the drivers a free pit stop, and it's played into the hands massively of Max Verstappen, who's now worked his way up into second. He's actually behind the Alpine of Esteban Ocon, who hasn't finished higher than 9th all year, currently looking at the win. Lando Norris is down to 4th.
0-0 here at Old Trafford. Formula One continues on Sports Extra. Excellent work from Mazraoui down the left-hand side, galloping after the ball, and it was able to win it from Gusto. Casemiro now, Rashford, still Manchester United threatening. Mazraoui plays it through for Rashford. Rashford dummies with the cross, brilliant, beats his man, ball into the near post, deflects off Sanchez, and then on the follow-up, Fernandes puts it wide.
Yeah, he does put it wide, but they've got to be looking at something here. Højlund in a bit of a tangle there, I think it was, with Colwill. Seems to be rolling about on the floor, holding his face, Højlund, as he was trying to get across his defender. Seeing the replay now, they are so close, Højlund. Yeah, nothing in that at all. It's contact. That's all it is, contact. I don't think the ref will be bothered with that one.
Excellent from Rashford, though. That's more like it, Dion.
Just positive, just taking on his man, leaving 1v1. Mazraoui's done really well down the left-hand side. Knowing when to go, knowing when to leave Marcus on his own. Marcus wants to be left alone. He wants to come on his right foot and get shots, of course he does, but he goes on the outside that time. And that's what you've got to do, you've got to mix it up. What is your fullback going to do if you're going to go left and right? Make a decision. I think Man United have got to play.
Yeah, Rashford's off the pitch because in the aftermath of that, he slid off the pitch and down the little slope that there is there into the advertising hoardings. Referee Robert Jones has actually gone over to see how he is. The Chelsea players have come across to him saying, hang on a minute, he's off the pitch. Let's get the game going again. And Robert Jones.
I think he might get caught, I think he gets caught late with the tackle from Fofana.
Yeah, maybe. A little touch. And also, we got a chance again to see as Højlund challenged for the ball when he was caught by Colwill. There wasn't a great deal in it. It was a sort of hand around his face, but Højlund went down again. Chelsea coming forward with Madueke into the penalty area. Madueke, but Mazraoui defended that brilliantly. Went with Madueke, who is a tricky customer when he's flying. Went to ground, blocked it. Manchester United clear it downfield. Højlund, Rashford with a run through the middle. Rashford allows it to run. Garnacho on the left foot, but couldn't bend it past Sanchez, who was able to go quickly to his right and pat it down.
Yeah, it's a really good chance as well. Lovely ball forward. Højlund just couldn't find. He tried to find Marcus Rashford. Went through to Garnacho, just couldn't find the right finish.
Caicedo dispossessed by Højlund, but then Højlund runs into Fofana and fouls him, and it's a free kick to Chelsea, half inside their own half. It is lively. Ruud van Nistelrooy comes out to the edge of the coaching area. Enzo Maresca just to his right there. And so in the FA Cup we have Leyton Orient through, Mansfield Town won well 4-0 at Curzon Ashton, not too far away from here. Birmingham City narrowly through against Sutton United, and in the other early start, Wimbledon 2-0 winners in the tie of the round at MK Dons. Still Harrogate Town 1, Wrexham 0 in the 3:30 kickoff, and the Brazilian Grand Prix continues on Sports Extra on your digital radio or via BBC Sounds. Chelsea with Reece James. Reece James clips the ball over the top of De Ligt, and Gusto runs onto it. Now Jackson with half a chance, but the cover and challenge from Martinez, who came across crucially at the moment when he was looking to strike it, and just was enough to put him off, and the ball just bounced through to...
You know what, Jackson's doing really well today, because he's occupying both centre halves. He's coming to the ball, and as he comes to the ball, he's either bringing Martinez with him or De Ligt with him as well. That leaves a gap in behind him, and you've got Madueke and Cole Palmer going in the space that he's left, and they're looking for that ball, Chelsea.
Long one forward onto the head of Colwell, who is adjudged to have been pulled back by Højlund, and it's a free kick to Chelsea, 10 yards inside their own half. So it is goalless, 25 minutes played. Manchester United, Ruud van Nistelrooy really not changing things too much to Erik ten Hag's final days, but I think the performance is generally more positive, isn't it? It is more front foot.
Yeah, it is. It's there is a difference in the energy levels. There is a difference in the shape. At the moment, out of possession, they've not got the ball at the moment. They've gone into like a 4-3-3, and it seems to be working.
Lavia was put under pressure by the pass, and then did a sort of half Cruyff turn. Højlund almost took it away from him, but Lavia was able to keep possession. Still in the relatively early days, really, of his Chelsea career after the injury problems that he had last season. The number 45, Lavia, former Manchester City youngster, don't forget. And here he is with all of that hair tied up on the top of his head. Now to Fofana. Down the right-hand side, Gusto, who's pushing forward at every opportunity, and now holds the ball up. Madueke is going to be on to this. In fact, Caicedo comes across. Caicedo's ball in field. That was intercepted by Casemiro with his black gloves on. And now back to Reece James. Neto is absolutely hugging the touchline here on the left. His heels were right on it as he received it. And now Palmer pops up as well. Palmer, slight and upright. Then to Lavia, who is well challenged by Casemiro. Manchester United could be away on the break here. Højlund passes it forward to Garnacho, who was offside. The Chelsea backline, the three of them as they were at the time, just stepped up, and Garnacho's furious with himself. Gets the high-vis ball and bounces it down into the ground, looks at the heavens.
You know what, I don't think he's angry with himself. I think he's angry with Højlund, because he knows as soon as that ball gets to Højlund, he's off, he's gone. He's off the back of James, and he's running. By the time Højlund sees him, he's late, because James steps up. Great defending, but Højlund takes too long to release the ball.
And then Chelsea waste the free kick, just blasted downfield way beyond the run of Madueke. So still 0-0. Still Manchester United with just the 8 league goals this season. Only Southampton have scored fewer goals in the Premier League this season than Manchester United. And here they are with the ball on the edge of their own penalty area, going back to goalkeeper Onana, who at the last moment just swings his foot through the ball as Jackson runs across him. Challenge on the halfway line on Bruno Fernandes, who's holding his head. It was out for a throw in taken quickly, and then Højlund is kind of sandwiched between James and Fofana, but doesn't win the free kick. Højlund gives a piece of his mind to Lee Betts, who is the assistant on this side of the field, who acts as though he hasn't heard it, although I suspect he'll be talking over the microphone to Robert Jones about that. There may be further action to be taken, we'll see. And
Maresca's the complete opposite, comes off his seat, comes into the technical area, both palms out wide, as it's just calm down, keep playing.
Chelsea lose it. Højlund wins it. It's just a little short there, and then Højlund is shoved over, and the referee says no, he wasn't. Play continues. Lavia hits this long pass forward. Martinez comes across, just got a foot to the ball ahead of Madueke, and then recovers superbly to head it back to Onana. And you can hear the reaction to that. The home supporters felt that should have been a foul to Højlund and Manchester United. He's not got that one either.
No, he's not. He's not getting much today, Haaland. He is putting his body on the line, and we know how hard he works anyway, and he's not getting any favours at all. In fact, looking at the replay again, referee got it absolutely spot on. The ball was just towed away from him. He took too long.
I think many moons ago, when Manchester United had a stable figure in the manager's seat,
Don't say it. They would have got it.
they would have had at least one free kick from those last two incidents, probably two. Here's Palmer on the halfway line. Sir Alex is here watching on. Palmer, square from him, there's space for Gusto. He might have a go here, but the second touch was heavy, so he gives it out to Madueke on the right. Madueke's cross blocked by Mazraoui, just got a foot to it, then couldn't keep it in. It's a corner to Chelsea. The space that Gusto's finding, Deal.
Yeah, and I think what it is, Man United's midfield's not getting back quick enough, because they are committing so many players on the press and committing them forward when they do get the ball, but they're not getting back into those positions quick enough, and Chelsea seem to find themselves attacking like a 6-on-4 a lot of the time towards Man United's back four.
In the Women's Super League, 4:30 kick-off, Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 1, and later commentary on Sports Extra on the Everton-Chelsea match from 6:45. Once the Grand Prix is done, Palmer with this corner right underneath the crossbar, but right into the gloves of Onana, who unflappably catches the ball in front of his face. So it is Motherwell 1, Rangers 2 in the Scottish League Cup semi-final. That was a 3 o'clock kick-off. Also a 3 o'clock kick-off in the Championship. And if I believe my ears, last time I heard, Millwall were winning 1-0 against Burnley, James Gregg.
That's the way it's finished as well, John. A 0-0, their third straight win. Skipper Jake Cooper's brilliant header was the difference. They look really good for this win, actually. They're up to 7th in the league. It's just the second defeat of the season for Burnley. 4 draws and a loss in their last 7, though, now for Scott Parker's side. Maybe a bit of cause for concern. Full time at the Den, Millwall 1, Burnley 0.
Yeah, very good win for Millwall. Still Harrogate Town 1, Wrexham 0 in the FA Cup. And Casemiro playing the ball inside his own half to Bruno Fernandes, who is very, very closely watched by Caicedo. Might have fouled him. Manchester United continue the attack. Well, Garnacho was on the run down the left, and the referee's brought it back. The only thing I can think is that he thought there was an injury of some concern to Bruno Fernandes.
I think because the tackle was late on Bruno, Rob Jones let it go. Garnacho was in, but the ball went out of play on the far side. Referee's assistant flagged for that, no advantage, so they go back for the free kick.
Yeah. So it is still 0-0. Half an hour's flown by. It's been some good football here from both sides. And it is full time at Hampden with you, Ailey Barber.
It is indeed, and Rangers have put themselves into the League Cup final with a 2-1 victory. They had to come from behind after Andy Halliday's first half goal, but a much improved second half performance from the League Cup holders. First, Cyril Dessers got them level, and then Bayrami got the winner, what proved to be the winner. Jeffrey had one off the post, Czerny had one off the post. It could have been more comfortable, but they won't mind. They're in that final next month. It finished Motherwell 1, Rangers 2.
And in the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premiership, it has finished Hibs 1, Dundee United 1, and last we heard it was Dundee 2, Kilmarnock 2. That must be just about done as well. In fact, it is. Or are they still playing? Still playing. Here is Lavia playing it out towards the right-hand side. Madueke, then to Gusto again in the full-back position. Mazraoui slides in front of him yet again. That's been a feature of the match. Gusto or Madueke, but more Gusto really against Mazraoui, and they've won another corner, Chelsea, number 4 for them.
Yeah, he finds himself forward a lot. Gusto going on the overlap around Madueke. I do like the way that Caicedo and Lavia just sitting there, allowing Colwell to go into that number 10 role and do whatever he wants to do.
Corner is taken short this time by Palmer. He's swung the other one's underneath the bar, but then he gets it back. Onana's dropped it, but it bounces up, and in amongst a crowd of players, quite fortunate, he's able to grab it, and then, well, that's debatable. He himself runs into Colwell, then goes sprawling down as though he's been fouled by the Chelsea defender, and then trips over himself, and referee Jones gives a free kick to Manchester.
Yeah, I think they were both at it, to be honest with you.
You've got a knowing look on your face.
Yes. I think it was.
I bet you were.
No, don't start. I was very friendly on the pitch.
When I say I bet you were, I didn't actually remember it.
That was a non-contact kind of player.
Yeah. 10 minutes to go to half-time, just a little bit more than that. Still goalless here, Dion Dublin alongside. The ball is kept in by Manchester United. Casemiro, long and forward through the middle. Højlund then lays it off, comes off Fofana though, and is out of play for a throw-in. Dalot quickly up the right, grabs one of those high-vis balls from the bright yellow cone, takes the throw-in back into his own half. I do enjoy the gimmick of that high-vis ball, as if, well, we wouldn't be able to see the other one. Here's Ugarte. Oh, he's given it away. Palmer in the centre circle. Manchester United could be stretched here. It's 3 against 3. Palmer still in possession. Approaches the edge of the box. Left foot, shoots, but dwelt on it, and De Ligt was able to go almost into a long barrier and block that away, the Manchester United defender, the Dutchman. Chelsea come again. That is a let-off for Manchester United there after Ugarte's misplaced pass.
Yeah, it is a massive let-off, and Cole Palmer's the last person you want attacking your two centre-halves. He's waiting for help, he gets help, but it's late. Has to take the shot on. De Ligt does well to stand tall, but it's a warning sign, losing the ball in midfield as well, dwelling on the ball for too long. Chelsea there, nick it, and Palmer's in that 10 place. Yeah,
with Palmer in that position, having given the ball away, I think Manchester United, in the form that we've seen him in for Chelsea, can feel mighty fortunate that they weren't punished there. And now this is given away by James to Ugarte, and Ugarte to the edge of the box is challenged by Gusto. The shot comes in from Højlund, but the whistle had already gone. That wouldn't have counted if that had ended up in the back of the net, because referee Jones had already given the free kick for that challenge by Gusto on the surging Ugarte.
Yeah, Ugarte gets, I don't know, 8-10 yards away from the edge of Chelsea's box. Gusto just feels like he has to do something. Ugarte is just about to set fire to it, just about to pull the trigger, and there's just a nudge on the shoulder from Gusto. It is a free kick, and the referee gets it spot on. What are we now, 25 yards out maybe? It's a good area for Marcus Rashford, I think.
Probably less than that, Dion. Good area for Rashford, good area for Bruno Fernandes as well. Sanchez is going to have to be on his toes here. It's actually just about it. Well, they haven't put the ball down yet, but it looks as though they're going to put it round about the edge of the D, so it's as close as that.
Yeah.
And that was where the foul took place.
Absolutely. There's a couple of Casemiro's there as well. Bruno's got the ball in his hands.
And we should say as well, when Ugarte was through and Gusto made that foul, there were lots of covering defenders either side. So I don't think we were ever suggesting that it was going to be a red card, but it is a yellow. He's booked Gusto, and a free kick, and it's Fernandes who's placing it, Bruno Fernandes, even though Marcus Rashford is standing right behind him. It's Bruno Fernandes who is placing this very, very precisely, and in fact he's still not happy, which doesn't surprise me. Bruno Fernandes, he's just going to move it again just slightly. He's seen the way that the wall's lining up, and he 2, 3, 4 steps back, but Rashford also takes 4, 5 steps back, and now there's Caicedo started pushing someone in the wall. Casemiro, I think, might have pushed him back. Caicedo does a sort of comedy stagger, as though I'm about to lose. My legs are about to go.
Who was the referee that got pushed over that time?
Paul Durkin.
That was the one.
That was
exactly like that, wasn't it?
That was a great recall, deal. I'm sure many listeners, those who can remember, will be able to picture that brilliantly. But fortunately, Caicedo had a teammate there to hold him up, lest he may have collapsed to the ground.
Good job.
Right, they've put the man lying down behind the wall. It's Lavia. So here's the free kick. My money's on Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, right-footed, hits the top of the wall. Cheers from the Chelsea fans. Bounces down. It's still 0-0. 5 Live on the World Service from the BBC. Bruno Fernandes, great return pass. Then Garnacho's ball into the near post is slid away. Defender was in there. In it comes again from the left-hand side for Manchester United, but too close to the goalkeeper, the Rashford cross, and Sancho was able to catch it quite comfortably with 6 minutes to go to half-time. Sure, we'll hear from Unai Emery at half-time. There'll be lots of choice, actually, after Tottenham's fabulous win, really. A couple of goals from Solanke. One of them was an excellent finish, Dion. I don't know whether you saw that one, the little clip over the goalkeeper. That from 1-0 down at half-time. To say, we've already heard live from Ange Postecoglou. If you go back on BBC Sounds, by the way, you'll hear that round about, 25 past 3. if you go back, as you can on Sounds, and rewind the live radio and pause and listen again. If you're a Liverpool fan, you might want to go and listen again to yesterday afternoon's thrilling commentary from Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton on what was a really dramatic afternoon in the Premier League that continued on into the evening. It was quite a day, wasn't it?
It's an amazing day. I mean, the result of the day has to be Cambridge United 1, Woking 0.
One of the contenders for result of the day. Certainly Bournemouth, another great win after Manchester City 32 matches unbeaten in the Premier League.
By the way. Bournemouth, some performance.
Yeah, they've beaten Arsenal. I mean, they could have beaten Chelsea. The 1-0 game with all of the yellow cards. Chelsea here 0-0. Played forward towards the halfway line by Onana. Comes back through the middle. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Change of feet from him. And there are 3-4 players from each side. Caicedo goes in. Ugarte committed himself, but Caicedo managed to get the pass to Madueke. Now here's Jackson inside the penalty area. A heavy touch from him takes him back outside the box. He lays it square. Lavia, 22 yards out. Lavia, couldn't pick the pass to Gusto. And if he'd been able to drop that into his path, Gusto would have been clean through on the right, either to the byline or to have a shot himself. In fact, it's threaded its way past him and the defender through for goal.
You can actually see every single Chelsea player when they get, 10 yards away from the 18-yard line of Man United, they're all looking for Cole Palmer. Where's Cole Palmer? We need to get it into him. He's our best finisher. Jackson's looking up, trying to find him. Madueke's looking up there. Lavia was trying to find him as well. So he was being marked by the two centre-halves. So you have to find a way of at least getting a shot on target, and don't waste these opportunities.
It's funny, it's 0-0. It's been enjoyable. They've really had a go at each other, and the other side of that is that we've seen relatively few clear goal scoring opportunities. The Madueke header that hit the post, and there was a shout for a penalty in the middle of all that as well. And then at the other end, really, Sanchez has really not been extended.
He hasn't, no. Intent's there, though. I can see the intent by both sides wanting to play good, quick football, but they're kind of nullifying each other at the moment.
Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. Chelsea have not beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford since 2013, believe it or not. Last time Chelsea won here, Manchester United had just been crowned champions of the Premier League. That's how long ago it was. I bet you can't guess who the manager of Chelsea was that day, Dion, digging into your memory banks.
Wow, that's going back a long way.
It is going back a long way.
I know what I did last night, John, that's all I can tell you.
Did you got the fireworks last night?
Yes.
I thought you might have done.
One way of calling it.
Oh, right, okay. No further questions. Here's Palmer on the halfway line, brings it infield, and then is shoved over by Ugarte blatantly, struggling to keep up with him, got both hands on him and pushed him over and gets a yellow card.
I mean, Palmer's feet just absolutely incredible. He just waits for the ball on the halfway line to come across the halfway line to his left foot. He nudges it between Marcus Rashford and Ugarte, and then sets fire with this pace, and he leaves them both for dead. Ugarte's never going to get there. Just literally a blatant shove in the back, as if to say, I'm not going to get there, I've got to do something to stop you. It has to be a yellow card. Yeah, it's a blatant foul.
Yeah, he was off on the full.
Does that so well, Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
takes the ball on the back foot.
Yeah.
You're not quite sure whether to go close or not, and excellent play.
Yeah, he was on the full Catherine's wheel, wasn't he, there? There were flames and sparks coming off him.
Very good, sir, very good. This could be a banger, this one.
Ugarte put him out.
That's terrible, isn't it?
It is dreadful. Free kick for Chelsea. It's 0-0. 2 minutes to go to half time. Neto has taken up a position out here on the left hand side, standing very quietly in front of where the substitutes are warming up, all on his own, if they wanted to deliver it out to him. Reece James just standing to the left of the ball. Palmer looks as though he's giving this some thought, hand on chin. Palmer, left-footed, curls it in over there to the back post, comes back across. De Ligt got his head to it for Manchester United, and then it was hoisted away by the left foot of Højlund, and Reece James in the centre circle goes back to the edge of the penalty area. Long and forward from goalkeeper Sanchez onto the left instep of the jumping Martinez. Head shaved at the sides, and then Casemiro to Garnacho, who's now over on the left-hand side, interchanging with Rashford. Højlund couldn't find the pass past Gusto, Hoyland though back into his path, and then that breaks down, and Madueke will try to bring it away, although he had a heavy touch in there. Mazraoui was all over him. Madueke is now being forced back into the right back position. Mazraoui's won it back. Garnacho now, but then all very tight in there. Lavia was able to put a tackle in, and then it's cleared away by Gusto on the edge of the box back towards the halfway line. Dundee have scored a very late goal in the 4th minute of added time. Ziad Lakechi has made it Dundee 3, Kilmarnock 2, and there cannot be long left in that match. I noticed there as well, Barcelona have won it against Espanyol today. I saw Rafinha was in the goals again earlier, but no goals here at Old Trafford, where it is still 0-0. Grand Prix continues on Sports Extra. Much more on that at half-time in this match as well, when we'll round up all of the events so far today. But here is Caicedo for Chelsea. Comes through a tackle, swings a ball out that Neto does exceptionally well to keep the bouncing ball in, then plays it past Dalot, who sends him tumbling over the top of that. Referee just waited to see if there was going to be an advantage, but then gave the free kick, and also a yellow card for Dalot for that challenge that sent Neto spiralling.
Yeah, Neto does really well. I mean, you've mentioned it a few times, he just keeps his heels on the chalk. Is it chalk anymore? It's paint.
Probably not.
Probably paint, isn't it? He keeps his heels as wide as possible, and the ball bounces. He keeps the ball in. I don't know how he does it without stretching his hamstring too much, and goes past Dalot. Dalot commits to the challenge, and he's about a second late with it, but he just makes sure if the ball's going by, the man's not going by. This is a dangerous position. Cole Palmer loves these free kicks. Edge of corner of the D, about a yard away from the corner of the D, down the left-hand side for Chelsea. This will be an outswinger by Cole Palmer with pace.
Yeah, Reece James is there, just whispering over his shoulder, but I think it's clear what Palmer is going to do, as Dion has described. Again, Neto is an option, but Reece James walks away. Palmer gives the signal, both arms raised, 0-0, half-time approaching. Palmer curls it in, that's headed away by Casemiro, and he's headed it to a teammate in Garnacho, who is able to control it and then fire it away downfield. And Dundee have won 3-2 against Kilmarnock. So Dundee 3, Kilmarnock 2. Much needed win for Dundee earlier. And also Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 2 in the Women's Super League. The highlights will be on the Women's Football Show, which comes up tonight on BBC One after Match of the Day 2, which is on BBC One after the news. There for the highlights, all the football stories on the BBC Sport website, on the football pages. And 6:06 will be on the air tonight. I'll let you know when the lines will be open. I expect they will be at half-time. Here is Garnacho playing it back towards Fernandes, and then Bruno Fernandes right-footed ball all the way across. Rashford on the volley, hits the top of the bar and bounces over into the Manchester United fans behind the goal. And that is the last action of the first half, and that's as close as Manchester United have come to a goal here today. 0-0, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford really should be scoring. It's a lovely ball from Bruno Fernandes. Marcus Rashford does so well. He doesn't get sucked into the centre of the goal. He stays away in a right wing position. Bruno Fernandes just drops it over James's head on the volley, side foot. Rashford, I'm thinking, go across the keeper, tries to go near post, goes high, gets it wrong. He should have scored. He could have scored.
So there's that for Manchester United. That's the closest they've come. The early header from Madueke against the post. Ruud van Nistelrooy, I noticed even in the immediate aftermath of that, even when it was bouncing in amongst the fans and the whistle went, I looked down and Van Nistelrooy was off down the touchline like something out of Halloween, with his coat like a cape flowing behind him. And it's been pretty even, Dion.
I've enjoyed the game. I know we've not had many... we haven't seen the goalkeepers diving about, and they haven't got muddied kits, but I do believe that they've both tried to get the ball into right areas. I think it's that final pass as well, that final bit of execution that they haven't got quite right at the moment. Both sides. Good game to watch, so a lot of quality on show. Probably 50-50 this one, John. I'm looking forward to the second half and the adjustments that the managers are going to make.
And by the way, because I'll probably forget to mention it in the second half. The Chelsea manager, last time they won here was none other than Rafa Benitez.
Is that right?
Yes.
Very good, John.
But at the break, that was 2013. This is 2024. It is Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. And alongside us here at Old Trafford is Steve Crossman.
What adjustments do you think the two managers need to make then, Dean?
Yeah, I think they've got to be careful at the moment. Chelsea are finding themselves 2 or 3 times in that first half, Steve, they've been in like a 6-on-4 a few times as well. The Man United midfield have just probably committed too many players forward. Casemiro getting sucked in as well by going forward. They need to be careful with that shape. If you are going to send players forward, make sure you've got at least 1, maybe 2 sitting as well.
Right, we'll have much more from here at Old Trafford, and we will take you to the Brazilian Grand Prix as well. Another safety car as we speak there. There's live commentary on 5 Sports Extra. Let's get the news now.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
With the 5 Live News, I'm Carl Hartley. The King of Spain has faced angry protests while visiting Valencia, the region devastated by flash floods, which killed more than 200 people this week. Some in the crowd shouted murderer, while others threw mud. This man was one of several who addressed the king directly.
4 days late. This is not right. It's disgusting. It was known about and nobody did anything to avoid it. We've organised ourselves into groups. We've done it all by ourselves, the people.
A red weather warning for more rain has been issued for the area. Police Scotland say they've received a non-recent allegation of sexual assault made against Scotland's former First Minister, Alex Salmond, who died last month. In 2020, he was cleared of 13 sexual offence charges, including rape. The Alba Party, which he was the leader of, says the new allegation is a smear. Thousands of people have marched through central London demanding tougher action to keep the country's rivers and seas clean. The government says it's already introduced a new water bill to Parliament and is launching a commission to review the industry. And 3 men have been taken to hospital after being stabbed in south-east London this afternoon. Police were called to Pernies Road in Eltham. Officers say there's been no arrests and they're waiting for an update on the conditions of those injured.
Good morning, 5 Live Breakfast with Rick and Rachel.
5 Live Breakfast.
I spent a little bit of time with Rick. I don't think he should be allowed to comment on sport. Anybody who goes into a gymnasium in white socks and flip-flops and just does bicep curls, they shouldn't be taken seriously.
Yeah, I did.
Did you just do bicep curls?
No, that is a funny but untrue assessment of my work in the gym.
5 Live Breakfast.
With Rachel Burden and Rick Edwards.
Are we done?
Oh, thank you. Let me have this. Thank you, John. You are welcome.
It's weekdays from 6 on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sports.
With Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Yeah, welcome back to Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. Here earlier it finished Tottenham 4, Aston Villa 1. Let's check in on the Grand Prix at Interlagos in Brazil. Harry Benjamin.
Well, we just had a safety car out for Carlos Sainz, who spun out in his Ferrari. He's now out of the race, and chaos presumed on the restart. It was Max Verstappen who took the lead from Esteban Ocon coming into turn 1, and at the same time Lando Norris in the McLaren with a mistake falling down the order in the runoff through turn 1. He's now down into 7th. This is very much swung into Max Verstappen's camp. He now leads by over 2 seconds. We're on lap 45 of 69 as the rain continues to come down in Sao Paulo.
It's all over at Harrogate Town in their FA Cup first round tie with Wrexham. Nick Hatton.
Yeah, Harrogate Town 1, Wrexham 0. The final score, Jack Muldoon's header proving the difference. His goal on 24 minutes, very much against the run of play. Wrexham having 5 efforts in the first 3 minutes, forcing 2 decent saves out of James Belshaw. Muldoon, though, heading in from a corner midway through the first half. Second half, Wrexham had more chances, but the Harrogate defence had resolute in the end for a victory over their higher-ranked opposition. Full-time, Harrogate Town 1, Wrexham 0.
Already today, Dominic Solanke scored twice as Tottenham came from behind to earn a 4-1 victory over Aston Villa. Here's the Spurs boss Ange Postecoglou on his strikers' form.
Look, he put in an unbelievable shift against City during the week. I mean, he worked so hard for us to get a victory on Wednesday night. For him to back it up today, and yeah, the focus is the goals, and he scored 2 cracking goals for a striker. And I know he'll get goals for us, but his capacity to work for the team in all facets, with the ball, without the ball, like I said, backing up from a big Wednesday night, it's just, I couldn't speak highly enough of the guy. He's fantastic for our football club, he's fantastic for the group, and I'm glad he's getting the accolades. But even if he hadn't scored today, his contribution to the way we're playing and what we're trying to achieve has been outstanding.
That's Ange Postecoglou, who is with us live on 5 Live a little bit earlier. So Spurs up to 7th after that victory, 1 place below Aston Villa, whose manager Unai Emery has been speaking to Rob Nuffman.
Well, Unai, how do you sum up that game? You were very much on top in the first half, but what changed at half-time?
Their capacity to react and to be clinical, scoring the first goal, the second goal. And until the second goal, we were in the game, more or less competing very well. The first half fantastic, and we were with advantage. But the second half, we started as well after their goal, drawing. We were playing more or less, trying to control the game with our positioning, trying to get some chances in their box. We had to be clinical and don't let them to get a lot of chances. It was our plan before, and we did it, but even like that, they scored, not shooting a lot, but being clinical. And of course, after 2-1 and 3-1, the match was completely different, and it was very difficult to come back the result, because when they are in advantage in the result, they have very good transition, and they were, of course, trying to defend strongly the result. But I think we compete. I think the players, they did a big effort.
That's Unai Emery. Once we're done here at Old Trafford, it'll be time for 606 08085 909 693. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Robbie's with us. Afternoon, Rob.
Afternoon, Steve. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Very good. What do you think you're going to be getting your teeth stuck into?
Well, I'm sure the outcome of this game at Old Trafford, quite end-to-end stuff. It's quite an enjoyable 0-0, actually. I think there's going to be more chances in the second half. I think who takes them is going to, that's going to be the big talking point. And listen, Chelsea go into there today, you would think Chelsea have got a great opportunity to win that game. So will it be a missed opportunity for Chelsea if they don't win it? If Ruud van Nistelrooy wins it, it's a huge plus for those Manchester United players. What a win it was for Chris's Spurs. He'll have his Spurs top on tonight, Steve, Chris. With that 4-1 win. Great win, Solanke. Brilliant. Rangers get into the cup final. Cup final now against Celtic. I just heard Harrogate there, 17th in League 2, beating my hometown club Wrexham. And listen, Wimbledon beating MK Dons as well. So FA Cup draws, I think, at 7:45 tonight, Steve, as well. So listen, phone us up if you've got a good draw in the second round. And I'm sure the big talking point is the outcome of this game. 08085 909 693.
Thank you very much, Robbie. Yeah, lines open right now for 606. So Robbie and Chris will be with you once we're done with the game here at Old Trafford. Second half commentary is on the way. In the WSL, Manchester United substitute Melvin Mala scored a late equaliser to pick up a 1-1 draw against Arsenal at Leigh Sports Village. Let's hear from the United boss, Mark Skinner.
I felt that we needed to be more fluid first half. It was quite stale first half from both teams. I felt it was just like trying to find each other out. Limited chances. I felt Arsenal came out second half and hit us early, and we need to change tempo at that point. And I felt they had the better of that second half at the start. But then I was really happy the way we stuck in there. You ask about what a team's growth is, and it's not always in how many goals you score, it's how you defend. And we defend as a team. We rode the challenges, we blocked. And so, on reflection, we then wrestled the momentum round, scored our goal and took a point. So I know we get compared to Arsenal time. We're top four, of course, we understand that. But they've been going for a lot longer than us, and they've got a lot of, they've had a lot of time to invest that in that squad. So for us, I'm really happy with where we're at. But we want 3 points, of course. That's where we're heading towards.
That's Mark Skinner. Other scores for you in the WSL this afternoon: Brighton 1, Leicester 0, Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 3, Tottenham 2, West Ham 1, Villa 0, Liverpool 2. Everton against Chelsea kicks off at 6:45. There's coverage of that on 5 Sports Extra. It wasn't to be for National League North side Curzon Ashton, who lost 4-0 to League One's Mansfield Town in the FA Cup first round. Let's hear from the Curzon Ashton player manager. He spoke to us before the game. Here's Craig Mann after the game with Rob Law.
Just talk to us a little bit about the work that's gone into today, because I got here earlier today and it just got the sense of everybody chipping in, you know, volunteers and people who had been here for years, just doing everything they possibly could to make this a good experience for everyone involved today. It's been a real team effort from Curzon Ashton as a club.
Yeah, I think you summed it up exactly yourself there. The club is volunteer based. The board and the chairman are fans of the club. Everybody chips in. Like yesterday, we're all going around I'm sweeping dressing rooms, sweeping floors, sweeping, just to make sure that we present the club as properly that we could. And that's why I love being here. I think that's why everybody at the clubs was so looking forward to today, because it's not just the 11 on the pitch, it's everybody that's involved in it. It's their day. So it's a shame that it's ended like this and in the way it has, but I'm hoping that we've made some people proud and that we've given the club some good exposure for people to come back and see what we can do.
Yeah, the early red card in that game certainly hurt them, didn't it? Craig Mann there, Curzon Ashton manager, speaking to Rob Law. Elsewhere in the FA Cup first round this afternoon, MK Dons 0, AFC Wimbledon 2. I'm sure AFC Wimbledon fans, you will want to call 08085 909 693. Speak to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 606 once we're done here at Old Trafford. Other scores: Sutton United 0, Birmingham City 1, Leyton Orient beat Boreham Wood 3-1 on penalties, and it finished Harrogate Town 1, Wrexham 0. Correspondent John Murray and Dion Dublin with us here. Second half commentary on the way very, very shortly. Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. One of those games so far, Dion. I think if you're here, it's been quite an interesting game. I have a feeling for those at home, it's a good job you and John Murray are so good at your jobs.
Thank you very much, Steve. No, I've actually, you're right, I've enjoyed the game. I think it's been okay. We haven't been inundated with chances, Steve, but I think watching the way that the teams have set up and what they're trying to do and the energy levels are good, I'm happy with the game so far at the moment. I'd like to see more chances on goal, but we shall see.
John Murray, do you want to have another go at the pronunciation of the very famous and successful actor who's sitting about 5 yards to my left-hand side?
Yeah, I've now got it. Keoghan.
That's the one.
Keoghan.
Yeah, that's why I was giving you a funny look.
Well, just when you were going to ask us a couple of questions there, I was actually just trying to explain his 2 most famous films to Dion. And I can't remember the name of either of them.
Banshees of Inisherin.
Banshees of Inisherin, which is excellent. That's the one on the coast of Ireland.
Saltburn, maybe?
And Saltburn.
Is that it, right?
Which I was thinking, how am I going to describe that one to Dion?
It's a small town near where I grew up.
I haven't
Not sure that's
either.
the correct use of the word, but there you go.
Yeah.
Yes, very, very good. By the way, little trivia there. His second cousin is Frank Stapleton.
Is that right?
That's right, yeah. I was reading that on the Manchester United website.
That's why he's in the director's box.
There you go.
Yeah,
there's always a way in, Dion. There's always a way in. We talked before about what we thought both managers might do at half-time, and I suspect we will find out in the next few seconds, because the players of Manchester United are just taking to the field here at Old Trafford for the second half. Those of Chelsea just behind them. I can just see Reece James there just walking out of the tunnel, the Chelsea captain. So we will get an idea as to whether there are going to be any changes. At the moment, I would suggest probably not, because by this point you might have somebody stripped and ready to go on the touchline. So if there are going to be tweaks, Dion, by the looks of it, they'll be tactical.
Yeah, and if there are tweaks, I think it'll be by Chelsea, because Chelsea subs were out, having a bit of a warm-up. Cucurella as well was out there. He's doing lots of sprints and stuff, so I think he might be having a chat with the manager right now, Cucurella, getting some instructions as well. So yeah, I think if anybody's going to make changes soon, it will be Chelsea.
The Rude in the background was a little bit softer here ahead of the second half than it was ahead of the first half. I think, all of the Manchester United fans here maybe need a little bit of a lift. They almost got it right before half-time with that Marcus Rashford shot that hit the post. Don't forget, right now on 5 Sports Extra, believe it or not, the Grand Prix is still going on. They've had numerous red flags and a couple of yellows. They are still going, so you can listen to the commentary later on 5 Sports Extra. The boxing, Darren Fletcher, with the NFL coverage of the Detroit Lions at the Green Green Bay Packers. And there is a change, John Murray.
Yeah, and it does stand to reason this. It is Cucurella coming on. He's just getting all of that hair sorted out, which is flowing behind him as he runs over to the far side of the field, because Gusto is off. So James comes across the right back, and Gusto Dion, who was on a yellow card, and therefore in a perilous kind of position.
Yeah, just maybe a bit of protection as well, because he is important to this Chelsea side. So let's get another very good fullback on to take his place.
Yep, so Manchester United, as they started the match, Nana in goal, Dalot, De Ligt, Martinez and Mazraoui, then Ugarte and Casemiro placed up for a foul on Bruno Fernandes, who also makes up the Manchester United midfield, with Rashford and Garnacho on the flanks at the moment. Looking down there, Garnacho's on the left, Rashford is over towards the right, and Rasmus Højlund through the middle. And Chelsea, Sanchez in goal. So now it's James, the captain, at right back, Fofana, Colwill, substitute Cucurella, Caicedo and Lavia, Madueke, Palmer, Neto and Nicholas Jackson. And we are underway. Manchester United will attack towards the Stretford end in the second half, which is to our left. Darkness now over Old Trafford. The floodlight lamps on the top of the stands are shining down, lighting up the scene as Ugarte, I thought he conceded a free kick, and Højlund definitely does, and it's a free kick to Chelsea in their own right back position. If you weren't listening in the first half to us on 5 Live or the World Service, relatively few chances, but Madueke hit the post with an early header from a corner, and right at the end of the half, Marcus Rashford with a volley from a lovely pass from Bruno Fernandes into the path of Rashford from the angle 7 or 8 yards out, but clipped it against the top, the sort of angle, the top of the right angle, and over the crossbar it went. So it is 0-0 with Robert Sanchez preparing to take this free kick downfield. Here it comes, high over the halfway line. Jackson challenges for it and actually heads it back over the halfway line into his own half. A little unsteady from Fofana, then Cucurella plays it into space, which Madueke is able to run back into. And here is Caicedo, the wiry number 25, who 23 yesterday. Caicedo still a very young man. And on the subject of birthdays, Marcus Rashford was 27 now on Thursday, so moving into what should be, Dion, the prime of his career.
Well, you'd hope so for Marcus, because he's got everything you need in his locker. He just needs to bring it out now, Marcus, because he's had a couple of quiet seasons, and we all know how good he can be. It's just I want him to start to believe it again and show us what he's got.
Well, I've read so many articles this week, and almost all of them, when they've talked about the priorities for Ruben Amorim, have said, get the best out of Marcus Rashford. There were a couple of excellent runs from him in the first half, as well as the shot that hit the bar, but Mazraoui is dispossessed. Now he's out of position. Palmer, then to Madueke now down the right hand side. 2 defenders there though. Martinez, who's played quite a bit at left back recently, dropped into that position and was able to dispossess Madueke. And Manchester United, the red shirts, white shorts, black socks, go back deep into their own territory. So we heard from Robbie Savage at half time. Lines are open to talk to Robbie and Chris Sutton on 5 Live on 606 08 085 909 693. And after Manchester United's defeat, I think I'm right in saying if you go down the league pyramid now, the next unbeaten team that you come to is Macclesfield. Robbie Savage,
right?
I think I'm right in saying that. See Gary reaching, producer Gary reaching for his
tapping away there, he's tapping away.
Try and prove
That's
me
got
wrong.
to be wrong.
Anyway, well done Robbie so far as the Macclesfield manager this season. That is a feather in the cap. The ball is out of play, it's been disputed this. It's a throw-in that was initially given Manchester United's way, but in the end Robert Jones and his assistants have decided it's a Chelsea throw, hence the cheer from their supporters to our right. That's them, around about 2,500 Chelsea fans in that section. If you've been to Old Trafford, you know exactly where they are.
Yeah, I think the Man United faithful could really help their team out by doing exactly the same. Bit of noise, bit of atmosphere. Give your team something to hang on to.
Yeah, which it was in the early stages of the match. It's been a very good watch, actually, as a football match, even though we've not had a goal yet. Manchester United playing it out towards the right-hand side. Bruno Fernandes tried to volley it forward, a first-time touch, but Cucurella was back in position. The European Championship winner with Spain in the summer. Cucurella's pass up towards Neto. Manchester United quickly on it. Casemiro there, but Højlund just slightly on his heels. Comes back to Manchester United. Casemiro still got his black gloves on. The veteran Brazilian, as he is now. De Ligt now shapes the pass to the right. The ball in field towards Casemiro. Turns nicely. Shoots, but blocked by Cucurella. Comes back into the area, but the offside flag is up. And it is a free kick. Rashford was offside, free kick, Chelsea.
Yeah, story of the game so far. I mean, it's an easy ball as well for Dalot just to put Højlund in, but it's overhit. Same with Chelsea here. The ball out to Madueke earlier was overhit as well. So it's just taking care to make sure that you play those balls in the right area for your teammate. Not always to your teammate, but sometimes pass it for your teammate so they can get onto it.
So it remains 0-0. The draw has been a favourite result over the years between these two sides. Well, there's a collector's item. A miscontrol from Cole Palmer. Reece James passed it to him, took his eye off it, hit him, bounced out of play for a throw.
Gary, check that please. Cole Palmer, miscontrol. When was that?
Gary will be asking the questions to Ruud van Nistelrooy later, after many enjoyable discussions with Erik ten Hag. I wonder if he's watching today. I hear he was out of match yesterday. Erik ten Hag. Here's Garnacho. Garnacho's pass, Casemiro couldn't reach it. Jackson now for Chelsea, just outside the area. On his right foot, turns, gives it back to Lavia, and then Lavia is crowded out. Ugarte, who is then tackled by Caicedo. Caicedo, in turn, tackled by Casemiro. So the ball goes from side to side. These two sides have had some great tussles over the course of recent decades. Champions League final, of course, the first one between two English clubs in Moscow. Ball down the left-hand side, Cucurella chasing onto it, and then the sliding interception from Dalot puts it behind, came off the Manchester United man. It's a corner to Chelsea.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that today in that midfield area where midfielders think they have time to pass and pick a pass, and you know they're just getting caught on the ball far too much. That's both midfields, by the way. And then you put yourself under pressure because the opposing team are going to be in. There's a corner here for Chelsea for that reason.
Yeah, corner from the far side.
Without a ball.
They seem to be lacking a ball. It must have bounced into the stands. So, very obligingly, Bruno Fernandes has trotted across and knocked one off a cone for Reece James to take this. So Chelsea players grouped near the penalty spot, 6 of them. James with the signal. Then the Chelsea players run into the 6-yard area. In it comes to the near post where Casemiro is able to head it up towards the edge of the box. Cucurella won the header on the edge of the area, but headed it right across the penalty area to the right, out into the full-back position, the left-back area for Manchester United. Neto, then back towards the halfway line. Once again, Chelsea have the packed substitutes bench with plenty of options. He's already used Cucurella. But Nkunku is there, who's actually Chelsea's top scorer this season with 8 goals across all competitions. Might see him. He has Madueke, but at the moment the ball is just being tapped around in the central third. There's no great pace in this, and Manchester United sitting off Chelsea. Oh, that's awful from Colwell, who was in two minds and has just sliced the ball out of play for a throw-in on the halfway line. You don't often see that.
I'm not sure how he did that, to be honest with you. He seemed to try to play the ball down the line. I think Cucurella and Neto were on their way in behind Dalot, and he just got it all wrong, and it literally went parallel to where he was stood.
Yeah.
How did he manage that? He must have kicked it onto his other foot.
You don't often see that at this level, shall we say.
No.
As it's played back by Martinez to Onana, and just for the time being, the match has gone to sleep.
Yeah, it has, isn't it? It's gone really slow and really messy. There's lots of misplaced passes, and
Martinez hoists that straight up into the air. It's allowed to bounce. Garnacho and Lavia still bouncing, and then Bruno Fernandes puts his foot into it. Palmer comes out of it against Ugarte. Very messy. Now Neto receiving it from Palmer. Neto direct shoots right across the face of goal, and it rolled just beyond the far post.
That wasn't too far away, by the way. Neto just driving towards the corner of Man United's box. He shoots across the keeper. You know what? If he waits another second, Cucurella's coming on the outside of him. He could have just laid him in as well. Would have been a 2-on-1 against Dalot. Cole Palmer settling down that bouncing ball, bit of play, and gets Chelsea on the attack.
0-0 remains the score. Ruud van Nistelrooy watching on with his arms folded as Højlund is challenged and fouled by Cucurella. It's a free kick.
Not on Højlund. He's got a free kick.
He's got one.
How did he manage that?
He's got one. In the great traditions of Manchester United number 9s. I noticed Ruud van Nistelrooy in the seasons that he was at Manchester United, 4 times he reached 20 goals in the season. That is excellent consistency.
There's 23 between us one season, that
is. Dion once Premier League Golden Boot winner, don't forget. Here's Bruno Fernandes to take this free kick. This is 5 or 6 yards beyond the centre circle. Bruno Fernandes curls it in. Casemiro's after it. He might have been fouling Fofana, as the Chelsea man nevertheless was able to head it away back out of the box. Now Garnacho receives it. Garnacho into the area, tries to work it across, but Reece James defended that very well, and then it's turned away by Fofana. I think Manchester United suggesting that he turned it away. He was already over the dead ball line, but put it out for a throw, and it is a throw that is being given. I think he did just get to it, and Manchester United actually from that go all the way back towards the edge of their own penalty area. Onana to Dalot. Now here's Mazraoui, who flicks it forward. In the Women's Super League, Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 2 now is the score. Foul on Bruno Fernandes. Caicedo with the challenge, and free kick. Bruno Fernandes is protesting, or at least making sure everyone knows how he feels about it. Free kick only.
Yeah, there's just no shape at all from both sides. They seem to be really spread out. There's lots of... It's like watching a kiddies match where everybody's just following the ball around and there's no shape at all at the moment.
5 Live on the World Service from the BBC. Choice of listening as well. The Grand Prix still going on Sports Extra. Sanchez clears it out towards the far side. Cucurella now. Cucurella herring forward, plays it for Neto to chase. Dalot shoulder to shoulder with him. The little Portuguese number 7 for Chelsea just gets to the ball, then plays it through the legs of Dalot, but there was cover there from Casemiro, and now Manchester United look to break with Rashford, but Neto forces him to check back and go back to the edge of the penalty area.
That's brilliant work. I mean, from Neto as well, but from Marcus Rashford having to travel 50-60 yards back to get the ball and help his fullback out, and then he's happy to go forward as well and drive and take the pressure off his team by having the ball at his feet and keeping it, being resolute with the ball at his feet. Really good work, Marcus Rashford.
Manchester United forced back towards the edge of their own box. Martinez has got Palmer all over the back. Martinez refused to pass it back to the goalkeeper, instead got himself out of it, used his strength, turned Palmer, and then eventually Garnacho passes it back to Onana, who clears from the 6-yard box. Martinez again inside the Manchester United half. Casemiro infield to Mazraoui, and behind him it's Ugarte, who looks for the pass. Long pass. Rashford is able to get the ball under control, goes for the early ball right across the penalty area, but James is there at the back post to turn it behind. He had Garnacho behind him, but it's a corner.
It's a great ball out to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford doesn't waste any time at all, gets it out of his feet, and he says to Højlund and he says to Garnacho, get in the box, I'm going to put it in there with pace. He does just that, but it's good defending at the far post as well from James, keeps an eye on 2 players. Brilliant from Marcus Rashford.
Excellent pass from Ugarte as well. There was space there, which there's just not been enough of that for either side so far in the second half, because it's just deteriorated as a spectacle. But this is Manchester United's first corner of the second period. Dalot's come all the way across to say something to Bruno Fernandes, and then Dalot has run back into the 6-yard box, taken up a position on the edge of the area, middle of the goal. Bruno Fernandes actually takes it short to Rashford, corner of the box, onto his right foot, shoots low but straight. Sanchez, who is able to very calmly just see it bounce up into his chest, where he hangs on.
Yeah, I think that's what Dalot was saying. Let's play corner number 2, shall we, on the play sheet. Get it to Marcus Rashford. Doesn't quite catch it. It's where he wants to be, Marcus Rashford, just coming in off the left. Strikes it with his right foot, it bounces into the keeper's arm. Sanchez takes it safely. But better though from Marcus Rashford the last 5 minutes. He's been involved, he's affecting the game.
Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. After Tottenham won 4-1 against Aston Villa earlier. Aston Villa will be into action in the Champions League on Wednesday night. They go to Club Bruges. Long ball forward, which is headed back by Dalot to goalkeeper Onana. That will be on Sports Extra, by the way, but Champions League coverage and commentary Tuesday and Wednesday night. And also this week, the build-up will continue, and the coverage of the US election Tuesday night. Don't miss that. All the way through the night, a special programme on 5 Live. Only on 5 Live will you get Champions League commentary and coverage of the US election, as Palmer is fouled 15 yards inside the Manchester United half, and it's a free kick for Chelsea, for Enzo Maresca's Chelsea. Just 1 point behind Arsenal in the Premier League table. If they can get a win here at Old Trafford, I think we know what they'll be talking about on 606 later. Here's James. James takes the free kick to Madueke. Madueke, left-footed ball. It hits Mazraoui, who turned against it. Might have struck his arm, but his arm was tucked right into his body, and actually from him, the ball bounced away at right angles and behind for a corner from the right. Cole Palmer walks down into that corner and is serenaded by the Chelsea fans up in that corner. I think there might have been 1 or 2 words from the Manchester United fans closer to him. Palmer then to take this. Left-footed towards the back post, where it is headed up and away. Dalot was in position for Manchester United. Got good distance on that. Comes back to the halfway line where Caicedo swings a high pass looking for Palmer, but Fernandes was in position. And then Casemiro's, I think, overhit the pass. No, he hasn't. It's been kept in by Garnacho, who was in an offside position. He kept the ball in and actually collided with one of the Manchester United substitutes as he did so. Almost Gareth Bale-like, if you remember that amazing run when he ran off the field at Real Madrid. Here, Garnacho actually ran into one of his teammates, but he was already offside. I
think he ran into Ahmad, did he? Ahmad's surprised that he kept the ball in, to be honest with you, but Casemiro did so well to get it to him. Garnacho shouldn't be in an offside position. He should have been hugging the touchline and get yourself into that goal-scoring position.
Jackson, Chelsea get play back underway. Lavia just comes through the challenge with Bruno Fernandes. Chelsea go back. Fernandes still chasing the ball as it goes all the way back to Sanchez, and Sanchez passes it out. Palmer has a look over his shoulder, then Ugarte arrives into the back of him, shoves him over. Not much in it. Free kick to Chelsea though. Back to the Grand Prix. What is the latest, Harry Benjamin?
Yes, lap 65 of 69, and Verstappen is now walking away with it, setting fastest lap after fastest lap. The rain has eased off. Verstappen out in front has a 15-second gap. Lando Norris is down in 6th, unable to make huge inroads. And Lewis Hamilton is the sound you might be able to hear in the background. He's trying to get a few more points on the board after what's been a miserable weekend. He's currently down in 10th, but this one looks like it's Verstappen's in the bag right now.
So there you are, and commentary continues, Sports Extra, via BBC Sounds, where you'll get all of your live BBC radio. Listening figures went up recently. Dion, biggest figures on 5 Live for over 10 years as Manchester United attack, but the offside flag is up against Højlund, so another offside decision goes against United. Free kick to Chelsea.
It's happened a few times actually, John, tonight, where you know the ball's coming in. You shouldn't really, as a forward-thinking player, you should be able to look along the line and make sure that you're onside. Dalot does really well, comes out. It's a first-time ball. It's a yard offside. You've got to know where your defenders are. You've got to give yourself a yard before you start sprinting. It's happened too many times for United when they were in on goal.
So Chelsea take this free kick on the edge of their own box. Fofana. It didn't have this feel in the first half. You thought a goal will come. Second half, it's got the feel of a 0-0 draw, which is what it is. Martinez clears to the edge of the box. Lavia heads it forward. De Ligt, and then hooked away by Ugarte, but forward comes Fofana to get there ahead of Højlund. You can hear the groans. Fofana has just about kept the ball in. He's hoping that Ugarte is going to foul him, which he does. Then he takes a quick free kick. Fofana to Palmer. Referee Jones allows Chelsea to go. Cucurella, left foot shot, deflected right across the box off Dalot. Comes out to Lavia, middle of the half. That could have gone anywhere. It's actually quite a well-struck shot.
It was a good
Cucurella.
strike by Cucurella, really good strike.
Now Neto, little step over, another step over, right foot shot, low but lacked power, and Onana was able to drop on it.
Yeah, United just switching off their quick free kick, middle of the park. Cole Palmer finding Cucurella, and he decides to have a strike. It's well blocked, but it's just that switching off, just that little split second that Man United can't afford to let Chelsea have any time on the ball like that.
And it remains Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. But Højlund puts in a challenge on the halfway line. Chelsea think there was a foul. Taken on by Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes cuts back, plays it across Garnacho with a shot, but mishit it. And it just bobbled straight at Sanchez, who was able to catch the ball into his chest. Groans from the Stretford end and all around Old Trafford.
Oh, it's so well done from Bruno Fernandes down the right-hand side. He's actually sprinting, he's in, he's got the ball at his feet, he's getting into, just about to go into the box down the right-hand side. And you know what, he fakes to cross it, pulls it back to Garnacho, there's nobody near him. He tries to strike it with a side foot, and he kicks it onto his left foot, onto his standing foot, bobbles up into Sanchez's hands. Wow, that's a really good chance, one of the best in the game.
It was. It really opened up. And the Chelsea feel, I think it was Colwell who was challenged on the halfway line. He certainly felt that he'd been fouled. But as you heard, it came to nothing. Still 0-0. As Ugarte hits a pass forward, but to no one in a red shirt. Cucurella's got it.
Yeah, that's happened a lot today. Casemiro's played a lot of blind passes. Ugarte's played a lot of blind passes as well. When there's a player 10-12 yards away that's got a better angle to play that pass or get it to that particular player. So again, trying to play passes that are not on Man United.
Chelsea, who don't forget are the top scorers away from home in the Premier League this season, with the 11 goals that they've managed to put into the net in the league away from Stamford Bridge. Here's Casemiro carrying the ball forward, but both sides drawing a blank as Rashford turns into Neto, then goes down. Two of them come together. That's given us a free kick to Chelsea, which Rashford is furious about and has actually run across to Neil Davis, who's the assistant on the far side. And Rashford, unless he's, the yellow card's come out, and I'm not surprised. Rashford has run all the way across there, probably 15 yards or more, to talk to the assistant, and will be shown a yellow card for that.
Yeah, there it is. Rob Jones just giving Marcus that yellow card. Marcus felt so strongly about him being fouled, and then because he thought he'd been fouled, he'd pulled down the Chelsea player as if to say that's my free kick, and he didn't get it, and he was so angry about it. Not a lot in that, to be fair, John. I've just seen the replay, but Marcus wasn't happy.
He was not happy. Slapped the turf, as I say, ran across the assistant, so he's booked. Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0, and Chelsea with this free kick then after that alleged foul. Yeah, Enzo Fernandez is being called forward. I think that's Mykhailo Mudryk as well, who is walking down the steps as Chelsea concede a throw in. Manchester United take it quickly. Casemiro all the way to Højlund in the box. Oh, the challenge from Sanchez, it's a penalty. Højlund goes down. Sanchez stretching for it. He got a glove to the ankle of Højlund, who went down in a flash. And even though he was going wide, going to the byline, the challenge from the Chelsea goalkeeper, Robert Jones, the referee, instantly said penalty Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, Sanchez did commit to that one. Højlund actually receives the ball on the volley, kind of on the penalty spot area. He takes it on his chest and then takes it on his right foot to try and create a better angle for himself. Lovely first touch, cushions it on his chest. In fact, he doesn't, he brings it on his left foot, just about to take it. Yeah, oh, is there any contact there? Well, the referees give it emphatically. I can see again here. Yeah, he catches him on his left foot, his standing foot. Sanchez commits. It is a penalty. It's very, very light. It's very weak, but it's a penalty.
There's enough. There's enough, and I think in the way that officiating is working right now, VAR will not be overturning that. They will Absolutely be sticking with the on-field decision.
Yeah, and it's good to see Rob Jones being strong with it. He's made his decision, and it's a good one and a correct one as well. He was in a good position as well, the ref.
Yeah, Sanchez, didn't need to dive in like that in that position. It was wide of the goal. However, it's a penalty, and it's a chance for Ruud van Nistelrooy's Manchester United to score their first Premier League goal under his interim management. And it's the captain, it's Bruno Fernandes, the man who scored more penalties for Manchester United than anyone else, who's standing over it. Right-footed, sends Sanchez the wrong way, and Manchester United lead 1-0 against Chelsea. And Ruud van Nistelrooy runs down the touchline,
fist together, looking at Onana. Onana's the only Manchester United player on the pitch. They're all celebrating in the corner where they come out of the tunnel. Very good penalty from Bruno Fernandes. Took the pressure off his whole side. Leave it to the skipper. I'll stick it in the back of the net, chaps, and give us every opportunity of getting 3 points from this game.
Tucked away beautifully by the captain for what is finally on the 3rd of November, his first Premier League goal of the season. Such a dependable source of goals, the Portuguese, the former Sporting player. I guess the current Sporting manager will be watching this somewhere, but there we are. 2 goals on Wednesday in the League Cup, and this one here is 3rd goal of the week. And a great reaction from Ruud van Nistelrooy, who carried on the reaction as well, actually, clenching both fists down into the ground. And Manchester United leading Chelsea by 1-0. And I can tell you, we've got the result as well of the Brazilian Grand Prix, as Manchester United played forward with Casemiro, but that pass will roll all the way out of play for a throw into Chelsea, halfway inside their own half. So the Grand Prix in Sao Paulo was won, as was expected there, by Max Verstappen. Esteban Ocon was 2nd, Pierre Gasly was 3rd, and Lando Norris in the end finished 6th. So more on that to come, and of course there will be the Checkered Flag podcast from BBC Sounds, which is always a great listen from our team. So Manchester United 1-0 up. Rashford is going to be the player who comes off, and that double change for Chelsea has been binned for the time being. In fact, they are going to make those changes. But first of all, the Manchester United change, and it is Rashford coming off. What do you think today, Dion? Rashford?
You know what? I think he's been so much better. So much better. I really believe that his energy levels look good. His body language is good as well. Obviously doesn't want to come off. You can see that by his face. Ahmad's coming on. Ruud van Nistelrooy gives Marcus Rashford a big hug as he comes off. But he's affected the game, not as much as he wants to, Marcus Rashford. But there's little signs that he's on his way back.
Just to your left, just as I was looking at you, Steve Crossman to our left said, look over there, who's standing in the director's box applauding Rashford off? Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
Yes, well, he did play well today, and that's the kind of thing that Marcus will want to see and find out about.
So Amad Diallo has come on the right-hand side for Manchester United, and that is the first change that Ruud van Nistelrooy has made. All 4 of these matches that he'll have as the interim will be here at Old Trafford. So there's PAOK in the Europa League on Thursday night here, and then Leicester City next weekend on the Sunday. So at the moment he's got his eyes on 2 wins out of 2, and Manchester United have finally scored their 4th Premier League goal of the season here at Old Trafford. Here's Neto down the right hand side for Chelsea as Martinez puts in the challenge. It is the final touch off the Manchester United man. It's a corner from the right, so Chelsea having to come from behind, and now it's Chelsea who are looking at the prospect of their 3rd defeat in the league this season. Palmer just backs away, just has a look, because he's right at the top where the pitch slopes away. Palmer, left-footed delivery into the 6-yard box. That's headed away by Casemiro. Comes out for the shot from Caicedo, which is through and into the net through a crowd of players. Onana diving down to his right, couldn't keep it out, and it crept in at the foot of the post, and it's 1-1. And the Manchester United lead lasted for 5 minutes.
It's an amazing, Cole Palmer's quality from corners, his quality in general is outstanding, but every single corner that he's made, an in-swinger has gone in the same position every time, right in the heart of the 6-yard box. No Man United player has taken charge. I think it was headed away by Casemiro, and as it went up in the air, it came down, bang on the corner of the D, on the left-hand side. Caicedo just steps back, 1 step back, sets his left foot, strikes the ball on the volley with his right foot, and it goes in the near post. Onana gets a hand on it but can't stop it, too much power. Very good technique, very good finish.
actually went through. It's the substitute Mudryk, wasn't it, who was in position, and whether it got a touch, I don't think it did, but Onana down to foot of his right post. He'll feel that he should have kept it out.
Yeah, because he's not struck it with a lot of venom. He's caught it reasonably well, and Onana, the quality that he has, he's expecting to save that without a doubt. But you're right, it was Mudryk that comes on and it goes through his legs. He has to open his legs to make sure the ball hits the target.
So 1-1, Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1. They weren't behind for long, and now Enzo Fernandez, the other substitute, has been fouled in the centre circle. Fernandez, who came on for Lavia, and Mudryk, who took the place of Madueke. Chelsea coming forward, chance again, edge of the box, but Enzo Fernandez quickly onto that. There were players in front of him, and he scooped it over the top of them and the crossbar as well. Yeah, Chelsea threatening a second.
Yeah, exactly as well. I mean, De Ligt falling over, Martinez falling over, everything's going a little bit all over the place at the moment. He's got to settle down again. Enzo has a chance there, edge of the box. It just gets rolled back to him. I'm thinking just lift it, and he does lift it, but too far over the bar. Very open, a little bit scruffy. Great work from Jackson again.
Well, just when it seemed it might be petering away to a 0-0 draw, we've had a goal apiece, and now it's 1-1 on 5 Live in the World Service. Lines are open for 606. Now we've got something to discuss. 08085 909 693. Hashtag BBC 606. Text 85058. And in the morning, the 5 Live Football Daily podcast is the Premier League review, which will actually be available tonight. It'll be available on this Sunday evening, and David Moyes will be one of the guests for Darren Fletcher to discuss the events of the weekend. You can subscribe on BBC Sounds for free. Free kick to Chelsea in the central third into the last 15 minutes, Dion.
Yeah, it's getting niggly, this one. There's a few little niggly free kicks and fouls, tired tackles as well, getting back into position. Rob Jones is going to have to get a grip of this one, because something's going to happen.
And also, since the substitution, since Mudryk came on, Neto's now over here on the right-hand side, isn't he? And he can cause mayhem. That might be a shrewd move from Enzo Maresca. Madueke being replaced. Didn't really see the best of him today. It's been an excellent start to the season from him. Reece James, who started at left back and is now at right back. James trying to find a way to he's lost possession. He ran into Bruno Fernandes. James, Højlund now. Garnacho shoots across the face of goal, but well wide actually by the time it rolled over the dead ball line. But it did take a touch, and it's a corner.
Yeah,
it took a touch off the one defender.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea there in defence. Reece James has the ball, and he has an easy pass back to his keeper, tries to force it, tries to play his way out, and just gets caught with the ball under his feet by Bruno Fernandes. And I thought Man United could have done more with this. Garnacho, quite a weak shot, gets a deflection though, and they've got another chance here, Man United.
Yeah, just a little flick off Fofana. Corner from the right for Manchester United, which is taken short, front of the Stretford end. And now Bruno Fernandes to the outside of his boot. Sanchez dives forward, punches it away to the edge of the box, headed further away. Now Mudryk is off and running, as Amad Diallo put in the challenge on him, and the ball ran for Manchester United and for Diogo Dalot. Dalot passes it forward, and Amad Diallo loses out in the challenge with Cucurella, and the referee spots a handball, I think, in there, so that's a free kick to Manchester United on the halfway line. So heading towards the climax now, as Manchester United take the free kick back to De Ligt. Harry Maguire still out injured. Back four again for Manchester United. Lots of talk that Ruben Amorim will go 3-4-3. Long pass forward from De Ligt for Højlund to chase, but the challenge on him. Stayed on his feet this time. The ball's put out of play. Manchester United take the throw. Forward again, Casemiro with a touch, then Bruno Fernandes. Now Amad Diallo running at Cucurella into the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes trying to reach this, but it was well followed by Colwill, who got there first and was able to clear it.
Yeah, all Man United at the moment going down that right-hand side. Dalot and Amad. Casemiro as well finding his way down that right-hand side. Little triangles, trying to get into those crossing areas.
Manchester United come again. Amad Diallo now cutting in field from the right-hand side. still going. Left-footed ball right across the pitch that Reece James, back-pedalling, is able to head it away. Then it's nodded back to him by Neto, and he crashes it with his right foot into Garnacho, and the ball ricochets off the field for a throw-in to Chelsea in the right-back position. So we can wrap things up from the Grand Prix with Harry Benjamin.
Max Verstappen now has one hand on his 4th world title, having won the Sao Paulo Grand Prix ahead of the 2 Alpines of Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly. Lando Norris only finishing down in 6th. We'll be digesting everything on the Checkered Flag podcast.
Yep, from BBC Sounds, thank you, Harry. More live sport tonight from 9 o'clock on Sports Extra, the NFL with Darren Fletcher and Greg Brady, Green Bay Packers against Detroit Lions. And as I say, join us, Anfield, for the commentary on Tuesday night, but all of the midweek Champions League action will be covered. Chelsea will be playing against FC Noah of Armenia in the Conference League on Thursday night. I have to confess, I did need to look them up, Dion. FC Noah.
With all due respect to him, I think I'm washing my hair that night. So.
Well, never underestimate anyone in European football. I thought you would know that. Long ball forward, De Ligt volleys it out of play for a throw-in on the left-hand side. Chelsea coming forward again, and then Enzo Fernandez looking to get it back. Chelsea bright here. Palmer now to Neto on the right-hand side. Neto trying to find a position to cross it, comes back to James. James curls it in towards the back post. Important header away by Dalot, and he was able to head it out into the path of Amad Diallo, who's being put under pressure by Cucurella, who's all hustle and bustle, of course. And then it goes back to the edge of the area where Dalot is able to clear it. Bruno Fernandes challenged by Neto, then Mazraoui. I think both of these teams here think they can win this. This could be a very good climax that we're about to watch. Caicedo to Enzo Fernandez in the centre circle. Now Colwill again inside his own half. Colwill passes it out to the left-hand side. The Ukrainian Mudryk is cutting infield on his right foot. Casemiro went to ground early there, Dion.
He does.
But did put the challenge in.
He does that very well. Casemiro goes to ground early, forces a player to make a pass, but you can't play it on the floor because I'm lying down in front of you.
Free kick, Manchester United play it. As they used to say, he went down in instalments there, but continued to slide towards his opponent and put in a very effective tackle. Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to make another couple of changes. Lindelof and Xerxes are coming on, and we don't have long to go now. We're in the 83rd minute here. Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton waiting for your calls on 606. If you're at one of the FA Cup matches today, I'm sure they'll want to hear from you, or indeed anything that you saw over the course of this weekend that you want to talk about. 08085 909 693. Xerxes coming on to replace Højlund, and Lindelof coming on for Ugarte. So there's going to be a bit of a reshuffle here, isn't there? So Ugarte coming off, and Ruud van Nistelrooy just putting his hands on the side of his head. Just his second start in the Premier League for Manchester United today, Ugarte, but Lindelof is on. Yeah,
you can see Ugarte. He's still finding his feet in this league, in this team. You can see the qualities there. Doesn't mind the physical side of the game either.
And he is going to play in the midfield role,
Absolutely.
Isn't he? There's no Eriksen today, by the way. There's no explanation of that. Christian Eriksen not involved at all. As flicked forward by Bruno Fernandes into the path of Xerxes. And then Fofana, excellent tackle. Xerxes gets back to his feet. The ball bounces away to Garnacho, still outside the penalty area. Garnacho dropping his shoulder. Chelsea back in numbers. And Garnacho actually in the end plays it into Neto and actually sends Chelsea off on a counter-attack. Neto's tearing away down the right wing, and he draws the foul from Casemiro. Wins a free kick. And Garnacho is given a piece of his mind by Casemiro for losing possession like that.
And rightly so, too easy from Garnacho. There was a lot of pace in that attack. Garnacho gets the ball on the left-hand side, and Mazraoui flies down the outside of him. Garnacho just takes the pace out of it, gives the ball away easy to Neto, doesn't get back, doesn't work hard enough. Casemiro does his job for him, has to foul Neto, and then has a real go at Garnacho as if to say, I deserve better, work harder, don't give the ball away. We had a chance to score.
And Dean, what about that moment where Xerxes was was put away through.
Yeah, I mean, if he had the pace to go through Xerxes, he would have been able to, get himself a shot on goal. Good defending, got back quickly.
But when he received it initially, I thought, here we go, he's going to be one-on-one. But
just couldn't get away from his defender.
Fofana
just hasn't got that blistering pace that he needed.
Yeah, Fofana dealt with it very well. Into the last 5 minutes. So Casemiro yellow carded for that foul that he had to concede against Neto. Free kick taken to Neto. Neto plays it in from the right-hand side, left-footed. That's headed away by Casemiro. And it's played back over the top by Enzo Fernandez for Neto. But Bruno Fernandes gets to the ball that bounces up above head height of both of them. Heads it out of play for a throw-in just a few yards away from the corner flag on the right. 2 balls on the field, so Neto will have to wait. Palmer comes across and just pops that off the field. Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1 remains the score. Next Sunday afternoon we'll have commentary on Chelsea's match against Arsenal, one of our many Premier League commentaries next weekend on 5 Live, and indeed the World Service. Here is Enzo Fernandez just getting away from the challenge from Xerxes. Now Mudryk goes past Casemiro, goes down, the ball runs to Jackson, Cucurella, and Chelsea again with Enzo Fernandez over there, and the Argentine plays it infield towards Caicedo, and now ball into the penalty area to Mudryk on the left hand side. Mudryk cuts back, and he cuts back into Bruno Fernandes, who gives a low 5 to Dalot, the two of them dealing with Mudryk. Corner though, Chelsea.
Yeah, hard to call this one. Something's going to happen. There's another chance in this game, or another couple of chances in this game for who, I'm not too sure, but it's very open. Teams are breaking down these defences now. Something's going to happen.
1-1, the goals in the 70th and 75th minutes. Bruno Fernandes for Manchester United, Caicedo for Chelsea. Corner is taken short by Chelsea. Amad Diallo forces it to be played square by James. Now Caicedo, the Chelsea goal scorer, just his second goal for Chelsea. That was right-footed ball to Mudryk. Mudryk with a flick, a backheel flick. It's driven across from the left-hand side by Palmer. The goalkeeper Onana dropped onto it, arms outstretched, and held it crucially.
Yeah, good. That's really good goalkeeping, that Onana taking the...
United in danger of losing possession near the edge of their own box. It runs to Neto. Neto square to Fernandes. Enzo Fernandez now to the edge of the box. United have got plenty of bodies in there. Then the cross from the left-hand side from Mudryk just drifts into the gloves of Onana, who's able to take the catch.
Yeah, he's taken the pressure off his side a couple of times now. Onana, one that just dinked into his arms, and then the one before that, he's sprawling out, diving at the 6-yard line, collecting it in, taking the pressure off his team.
Manchester United are living dangerously here.
They're giving away a lot of chances. A lot of good areas that Chelsea are getting in. Looking busy, Chelsea, at the moment.
They are. They fancy it. 88th minute. Long pass. That was crucially cut out by the long leg of the jumping Mazraoui. And Mazraoui then leaves Cucurella on the ground. They enjoyed that, the home supporters. Casemiro then keeps it going over there to the far side to Amad Diallo. Amad Diallo is checked by Mudryk, and now Chelsea are back in position. Casemiro with a cross though, that's headed away from inside the box, nodded forward by Lindelof. Garnacho shoots! Oh, it's just over the bar. Set himself beautifully, caught it on the volley, and it just maintained its line and possibly grazed the crossbar.
It's a really good effort from Garnacho. I'm thinking, no, don't try that technique, and he almost got it perfect, just leaning away on the angle, left-hand side, just in the box, leaning away, tries to get it with his laces, the right laces, and his right boot just doesn't catch it right. The keeper's really thinking this is dropping in as well. Great effort.
Would have been a marvellous goal. The man who scored more goals in this fixture than anyone else is Mark Hughes. Here's Garnacho again down the left. Bruno Fernandes bounces back to him, and he wildly volleys it. He was off balance, he went for glory, and the ball landed halfway up the lower tier of the Stretford end.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to put Xerxes in. He's gone into the box there, Bruno Fernandes, just on the corner of the box. Xerxes made a lovely diagonal run, and he just tries to chip it in between two blue shirts. It must have hit a knee or a shin, and it bobbles up lovely for him. He's 10 yards out. All he has to do is concentrate on the volley, and he balloons it high. He just should have taken a bit of pace off the ball and hit the target. He would have scored.
Think of Mark Hughes in his prime.
That's what Mark Hughes would have done. That would have hit the back of the net.
You can say why I mentioned Mark Hughes after the Garnacho effort.
Absolutely, yes, exactly, yes. And Mark Hughes made it look easy, though, let me tell you, those volleys.
Yeah, he scored 8 goals in this fixture for Manchester United, and then 3 goals for Chelsea against Manchester United later on in his career. Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1.
You know, Mark Hughes would take a bag of balls after training with Brian Kidd, and he'd do volleying for about an hour. That's why he was so good. He practiced on the training ground.
There's a lesson for you, boys and girls. We've got 4 minutes of added time. We're into that now. Remains 1-1. Lines open to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton once we've wrapped everything up on 606. If you're a Villa fan on your way back from the match at Tottenham, or indeed a Tottenham fan, I'm sure there'll be a lot of Tottenham talk tonight. Rangers through to the final to play Celtic in the League Cup in Scotland. They were 1-0 down against Motherwell as Enzo Fernandez wins the ball back on the halfway line. Or indeed a Millwall supporter after that, a very good win against Burnley in the Championship at 3 o'clock today. So 08085 909 693. Ball forward from Chelsea, but that will just bounce harmlessly through to Onana. 5 Live and the World Service. Onana overarming this out to De Ligt, and then Dalot back across the back line. So in added time, Ruud van Nistelrooy will have had his eyes on making it 2 wins out of 2, but Chelsea with that Caicedo goal pegged them back. Xerxes though for Garnacho, but overhits his cross. However, it will run all the way over there to the right hand side to Bruno Fernandes. Controls it, Bruno Fernandes ball in, Xerxes after it, but Fofana got there first, and then it was cleared away by the falling Caicedo, who is able to clear it to the halfway line. Neto has Mazraoui all over him, and then Mazraoui might have fouled Neto. He did, says referee Jones, but then Neto certainly got a bit of Mazraoui. Then Mazraoui falls over after Palmer tries to come and get the ball back, but it is a free kick to Chelsea. Neto maybe a little fortunate.
Yeah, maybe just getting the benefit there from the referee. Just got himself mixed up there, wasn't quite sure what to do, go forward, go back, and he just fell over with a bit of a nudge. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
1-1. We're in the 3rd minute of added time. Chelsea with the ball on the edge of the box. Fofana passes it towards Neto. It bounced off and Mazraoui was into him again. Mazraoui did well, found Garnacho, now Bruno Fernandes, Xerxes, but excellently defended by Colwill, who came across. And then up to Palmer. Palmer flicks it past Martinez, who caught him there. The referee waves the advantage. Enzo Fernandez then loses it, and right at the very end of the point where Robert Jones could bring that back for the Chelsea free kick, he blows his whistle and does exactly that. And a yellow card's going to be shown to Martinez, who is beaten by Palmer's skill.
Yeah, the way that Palmer just brings that ball down. I mean, there's a bit of something going on here.
Yeah, now there's a bit of a kerfuffle going on away from the ball. Robert Jones had come across to where Palmer was on the ground, and behind his back several of the players started pushing one another, and it's still kind of going on. Mazraoui's involved, and you did say, Dion, that there was a bit of edge in this. There has been over the years between these two clubs vying for titles and cups and all sorts, and still this has not calmed down. And Jackson, I think Nicholas Jackson in the middle of that is the Chelsea player who's most unhappy. And the referee now, as I say, he did have his back to this because he was coming across to see Palmer. And the suggestion is that Martinez, Lisandro Martinez, it could be a red card for his challenge on Palmer. Do you think so?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times now, and because Palmer he gets the ball down, he just seems to show his studs. Palmer puts the ball over Martinez's head. Martinez is committed. Palmer's just about to go round him. The ball's over his head. Palmer's about to go round him. Martinez's right leg just lifts his foot up, so he's showing his studs.
I mean, they're looking at this. The video assistant referee's looking at this. You know, is he unfortunate there, Martinez, because he's beaten by the skill of Palmer?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's stuck at a yellow.
Yeah, no red card.
Stays as a yellow.
It could have been.
Yeah, he's very lucky. Very lucky, Martinez there. Studs on the side of Cole Palmer's knee.
But I think probably the question is the intent there? Is it serious foul play? because Martinez was making a genuine attempt to get the ball, and yes, he caught the player, but referee Jones saw that. Anyway, the free kick's taken into the edge of the area. 1-1, final seconds now. Palmer turns, Palmer beats Casemiro, still going. His shot is blocked, possibly by his own man, Palmer, who scored 2 goals, 2 late goals to win this fixture for Chelsea in April at Stamford Bridge. I thought it was going to open up from there, but it was blocked away. We're now over 5 minutes into added time, and given the fact that we had the VAR check, we've probably still got a little time to play. Perhaps time for one final Manchester United attack with Garnacho. Garnacho goes round James, plays it into Xerxes at the near post, but the defender, the Chelsea defender, did extremely well in there. I think it was Caicedo who came back in, put the challenge in on Xerxes, it was, and cleared it wide of the post and behind for a corner.
Needed to as well. It was a tap-in for Xerxes. This is the last action of the game.
This is it. 1-1. Manchester United score here in front of the Stretford end. That will win it. Bruno Fernandes waiting to take it. A Manchester United player's taking a tumble in the box. And it is Martinez.
Bit of cramp. I think he's got a bit of cramp as he went down.
Do you think so?
Oh no, he's lost his boot, that's all.
And he's just making sure, he's just sorting his boot out. Well, this is drama here, a bit of suspense. Dion, in between Halloween and November the 5th. Hold on to your hat. Fernandes still waiting to take this. United with 3-4 players in the Chelsea penalty area. Defenders there, all very tight with those red shirts. Bruno Fernandes waits. A goal now will win it for Manchester United and Ruud van Nistelrooy. Bruno Fernandes now steps up to take the corner into the near post, and it's easily headed down and away, and that is it. The last action of the match, that header away from Nicholas Jackson, and it is a share of the points between Ruud van Nistelrooy and Enzo Maresca. A draw, a 1-1 draw, with the goals coming in the last 20 minutes of the match. The Bruno Fernandes penalty, which was equalised by Moises Caicedo, only a second goal for Chelsea. I think Onana will feel he could have done better with that. So 1-1 Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I think it's about right, John. I think both sides gave it a go. They weren't at their best, possibly 70% Chelsea, 70% United. There's a lot more to come, I think, from both of these sides, and not on it today. Not enough chances created. Energy was good. The way that they tried to play the game in the right way, but neither side really deserving 3 points from this game. So honours even is just about right for me.
Yep, there'll certainly be a discussion of what Ruben Amorim will have made of this, the soon-to-be incoming Manchester United head coach, who, as far as we're aware, will have been watching from back in Portugal. But that's it. Handshakes all round. A draw it is. Manchester United's first draw at home in the Premier League this season, but it means they stay in the bottom half of the Premier League table, and Chelsea's first draw away from home under Enzo Maresca in any competition. Ruud van Nistelrooy applauding to the fans who are still inside the Stretford end after Manchester United won, Chelsea won, and Steve Crossman is just sitting to our left here at Old Trafford.
Yeah, Ruud van Nistelrooy with a little sort of fist in the air and a thumbs up to the Stretford end as he walks down the tunnel now at Old Trafford. Those aren't Ruuds, those are boos, because the officials are about to leave the pitch just away to our left-hand side. Dion Dublin, is anyone especially happy with that, do you think?
No, not really.
Happy for that matter.
Well, no, not really. Nobody's really happy with it, Steve, because both sides would say, and both managers will say, listen, we could have won that with the chances we had, but weren't many clear-cut chances. You know, Garnacho had one as well, could have hit the target, should have done better. Keepers weren't flying about today, Steve, in the goal. You know, you can see the two keepers now in the centre of the pitch just having a conversation about their games. Chelsea team have gone over to their fans to give them a thank you for coming. Man United are doing a little walk around the pitch to say thanks for what you've done. I thought Chelsea fans were very noisy today. Man United fans are quite quiet. I think if they were a little bit noisy, I think the players could have responded to that. So they've got to play their part. Players did okay today of both sides. A lot more quality to come from both sides as well. And I did expect more of a goal fest, or I hoped, should I say, for a goal fest. But again, yeah, I think on as even, Steve, is about right.
I think that's a really interesting point about the sound.
Absolutely.
Of Old Trafford.
Makes a difference, Steve, as a player.
But and I also wonder if everything that's been going on off the pitch makes a difference as a fan, because they sort of do feel, because they're a club in this weird sort of middle between two managers, aren't they? So I don't know, it almost felt like the performance mirrored the attitude in the stands a little bit.
You're probably about right there, Steve. I think if there was a little bit more noise and Chelsea fans singing a song that sounded like "You're not very good, fans, you're not singing very loudly," words to that effect, and I think they were right. I think more noise within this, this cauldron here of Old Trafford. I think if there was a bit more noise, I would imagine the players would have responded. Fans have got to play their part as well. I give the players a lot of stick as well when they're not doing what they've got to do, but I think the fans as well, they've got to give their voices, lend their noise, and I do believe the players will respond.
Tell you what I would say if I was a Manchester United fan to that the players, it's their job to get the fans off their seats.
100%, and that's exactly right. I think there's a you bounce off each other. If you do something good on the pitch, then the fans respond. If the fans do something, then the players respond. So yeah, you're absolutely spot on. I can't really split these two teams up today. None of the sides really played brilliantly. No individual player was outstanding today. I thought Mazraoui did well, if I'm going to point out one for Man United, but that's basically it.
In the round, John, that is a pretty positive week for Ruud van Nistelrooy, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think he will, obviously, he's a winner. He'll have set his sights on winning all four of these matches, which were all winnable. This was on paper. This was the biggest test. PAOK at home and then Leicester at home next weekend. And I think having been 1-0 up in the match with less than 20 minutes to go, I think there'll be certainly an edge of frustration that they weren't able to see it through.
And that's when you are in those positions, you find yourself getting tired now. You're getting in the last sort of 20 minutes of the game, you're getting tired, but you have that little bit of a lift because you've scored. You have to get yourself back down again very quickly. You can't stay in that euphoria as you've scored. Concentration levels aren't very high when you're in that euphoria moment, so you've got to get yourself back down to ground. Do my job. They switched off. How long was it, John? 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, and they give a chance away. That's what you don't do. Don't give any chances away. Just after you've scored, settle it down, go again.
It's interesting when Ruben Amorim comes in. I mean, everyone this week who knows anything about him couldn't have been stronger about him coming in. He will play 3-4-3. So it's a really strange situation that we're in here, where Ruud van Nistelrooy is continuing on from Erik ten Hag's style of formation, yet we know, unless he does something that is extraordinarily radical, that there is a change coming, but not yet.
Yeah, it has that feel about it, certainly at the minute. So Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1, full-time score here at Old Trafford. We mentioned the BAFTA winner in our midst this afternoon, the star of Banshees of Inisherin, who I could tell from his reaction to the game would have been absolutely desperate for Manchester United to get the victory today. Well, there goes that dream. 08085 909 693 606 follows the news on 5 Live with Carl Hartley.